No, 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 MYC Uncensored!
Yay!
Batman intro. um, so I'm Mesha, and today I'm joined with Helen,
Hi guys, I'm Helen.
and we're going to be talking a little bit about toxic relationships and how they are formed, how we get into one. But first, Helen, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
So, hi guys, I'm Helen. I'm actually 23.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I'm currently on placement here at MYC, and I
Nice.
do Bachelor's of Community Services.
Nice. Basically, I'm the same, except I'm not 23, I'm 26. I feel really old, but it's okay. um, and yeah, so we're going to talk about toxic relationships, and I just thought that um, it would be good to hear your perspective, Helen, as well.
Yeah.
So, what is a toxic relationship?
I feel like a toxic relationship is a relationship that you want to be in, but then you feel that it's draining, it's tiring, it's not giving back the same energy you feel.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. So you're talking about like codependency,
Yes.
and like cannot like not being able to live without your partner kind of
That's right. Like you think that maybe if you try and do things differently, they'll react or they'll change their ways, the way they love you. But it feels like it just drains you because you're giving too much that you don't receive,
thing.
and you're trying to make them realize that you want things differently.
Yeah, that's true. So I actually did some research about this topic, and yeah, it's a toxic relationship. First, I guess like we'll talk about how they're formed. Um, so I started by looking at attachment theory, and this psychological researcher John Bowlby had a keen interest in how we bond and develop attachments. Right. So according to him, attachment explains the evolutionary behaviors that lead to human bonding. They usually happen during early childhood, even as early as infancy. When an infant experiences distress, they seek comfort from a caregiver, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But if the caregiver doesn't give that comfort, then that can form a very insecure attachment to their caregiver, an insecure base of like how they view the world and how they see the world around them, and also their own meaning to life. Um, So some of these attachment styles is there's a secure attachment style that happens when you have an attentive caregiver who meets the child's physical and emotional needs. The child feels loved and protected, and a basis of trust is formed between the caregiver and the child. Um, but then there's another attachment style called anxious ambivalent, which the caregiver is not providing consistent care. And so sometimes the caregiver is responsive, sometimes they're not. And as such, infants who have a anxious ambivalent attachment usually usually develop anxiety in their relationships because they don't know when the love is going to be taken away. And then there's avoidant attachment, where the child feels rejected by their caregiver and not seen to at all. And in these instances, like even if the caregiver left the room and then came back, the child would not really like care about it because there is no level of care between the infant and the caregiver.
Yeah.
So, considering all that, what do you think your attachment style is?
My attachment style would be anxious.
Why?
Because sometimes I feel that when I need someone, they're not there for me. So I feel that I don't feel secure enough to be open to anybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I would actually classify myself as anxious as well.
Yes.
Only because, like, growing up, I had a lot of instability.
Yeah.
Like my dad being in hospital, my mom being the sole breadwinner of the
Yeah.
house. So like, not a lot of attention was given to me
Yeah.
growing up. So, yeah, which is interesting because once you understand that, it's like it almost makes it easier to understand why people get into certain relationships that they get into.
Yeah.
For example, um, in my own life, I got into a toxic relationship because they provided security and comfort,
That's right.
the kind of stuff I was not getting from my parents or from a primary caregiver of some sort. And I got comfortable in that situation, but it was really not good for my mental health.
That's right. You get very vulnerable because you feel that this person is giving me what I don't receive from home.
Yeah, exactly. But then there were all these other signs that were saying that this is not a good thing to be involved in, and I sort of like out of desperation for like someone to love me,
Yeah.
I ignored those signs, and it led to me being taken advantage of financially, even like not even just like not feeling appreciated
Yeah.
in the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you like to read out some of the red flags? That
So some of the red flags that are listed is lack of respect, not respecting boundaries, calling names, humiliation, insults, and demand of partner and control of them. And so there's indifferences, there's withholding affection and stonewalling, or walling, silent treatment, gaslighting, breaking things or hitting partner, isolating them from loved ones and friends, and extreme jealousy. These are some red flags you'll find in a toxic relationship.
Yeah. How do you sort of like navigate having been gaslighted like that?
Yeah.
And being controlled to that degree with freedom, like when you're trying to transition out of a toxic relationship, how do you think we can do that?
It's a really hard process, because you've heard all the positives from your partner, and then the time you're trying to leave and they come up with all these negative things that they've hidden from you.
Yeah.
Like, so they try to make you feel bad about yourself, the way you look, the way people will see you out in the community coming out of that relationship. Sometimes they even talk about you in a way that you've never heard of them say it before.
Yeah.
Like, because you were all the angel with them, and then all of a sudden you're the devil now of the story.
That's true, because I think a big part of that is that a person who is toxic, or can classify as toxic, meaning like they have unhealthy behaviors,
Yeah,
I don't think they want to take responsibility for their actions.
that's right.
Because that would mean that they would have to confront themselves. And I think in terms of how they grew up, they must have a very insecure attachment base.
That's right.
Because they are trying to control everything around them as a means of finding stability.
Yeah.
Which is really, you can't control a person.
Yeah, that's right. We come from different homes and different backgrounds, and the way we try and view a toxic relationship might not be toxic to them, but you feel that it's toxic to you.
Yeah. That's a really good perspective.
Because some of them might be growing up with families that have that as a daily thing. Like, they'll see their own family members do that, so they might think that, oh, it's normal in every relationship.
Exactly.
But then to you, you've not seen that behavior in your family, so you might feel it's a red flag, but they don't see it as a red flag because they see it constantly.
Yeah. And I think to add to that, it's okay to be different from your family. It's okay to have your own views on things. It's okay to be sort of autonomous.
Yes.
In even within a family unit, like, it's important that you are, because ultimately it's like, as much as you love your family, it is you yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah. And like, it's your own well-being.
Your own well-being, yes. Yeah. So
yeah. Can I say a point? Like, some of us are strong enough to withhold that feeling, like that negativity that's coming from that relationship, but some of us are very vulnerable and we get to break down. Yeah, not all of us are the same.
Yeah. Especially if someone is playing with your mind.
Yeah.
That's not fair on you, because that means that your opinions, your views, your perception of life is just being completely invalidated.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So these were just some things that we thought about when we were talking about toxic relationships. Do you have any experience in a toxic relationship?
The experience of extreme jealousy.
Extreme jealousy?
Yes. Like they feel, because before the relationship you're like out there, you're having fun with friends, you're always around people, you're the bubbly person. And then you get into this relationship which makes you feel that you're not yourself. It drains out all that energy and all that happiness in you, because you feel like they give you a choice, whether it's your friends or it's them. It's going out or it's staying in with them, like that. It's always a choice in this relationship. When you're in a toxic relationship, it's not freedom.
Yeah.
They always give you a choice, whether it's the good things or them. And that's
You
what
make
I
that sound
feel.
like a bad thing.
No, yeah, but it's because sometimes it really makes you a different person when you're in this
Yeah.
relationship. It makes you feel isolated too.
That's so true. And it is like a person can be, for all we know, like we're not trying to like throw anyone under the bus as well.
Yes, that's right.
Like for all we know, that person could be a good person yet have some toxic traits.
Yeah.
And which can be worked on if they go to like therapy, if they are open to having their mind expanded about certain topics.
Yes.
But you should never feel pressured to stay with them just because of the potential that you see coming out of them, because you're dating the person as they are now.
Yes.
And like that, sometimes that may require you leaving the relationship for them to find themselves.
Yeah. Sometimes they if you're in a good relationship and you see some red flags, you want to change. The person may actually change. Like they're willing, they're open to change.
Yeah.
But not everyone's capable of that. But you can try your best.
Yeah. That's true. So these are some of our thoughts on toxic relationships. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.